Hey, what's up everybody? It's MrScaryMuffin, and we are looking at the last map for Highlander, and it's actually one of my favorite maps. It's Upward. My only other bigger favorite would be Thunder Mountain, but Upward I really like. And Upward is an interesting map. Oh, that's actually quite loud. Let's take that down a bit, shall we? Bloop. There we go. Yeah, and Upward's an actually interesting map because, well, the reason why it's my favorite map, it's because it's a support class heavy map, whereas other maps like such as Steel last week was all dependent on spawn camping. This one is, you're going to rely a lot on your spies. You're going to rely a lot on your engineers to making those teleporters, and you're going to rely a lot on your snipers, especially during this open section right here. So let's go over this first point real quick. You'll expect the offense to have basically a group of people in the back here. They might get some people onto the roof up here. This is a good place for a sniper, but most likely they'll have maybe a pyro and somebody over there, and the medic will probably be back here, along with a heavy or somebody who can just shoot across, because this is a pretty open area, pretty easy for them to set up and to just fire across. Ooh, I still have pyro vision on, that's why. or do I have pyro vision on this one character? I do. Let's change that, shall we? Let's get rid of that. And I was wondering what was going on. Let's change classes. Okay, there you go. Get pyro vision off. I was wondering why that was all white and stuff, but anyways, so yeah. Offense coming out of here, most likely you'll see the medic pushing with the demo man and the pyro coming out this way, trying to get the Uber, because this is the shortest distance. They're going to use the Uber, so that's why you want to have the medic and heavy and probably your pyro here with the Uber, so you can just puff people away. And normally you'll set up the sentry. There's a couple of places where you can set up the sentry. If you're very confident in your wrangling, set up the sentry right around here, and you can just fire down that line, and the wrangle bubble will protect you from snipes, and you can just kind of keep up at it like that. And it's really super annoying if you get a level 3 sentry and you're just spamming endless rockets that way. And then if that's the case, then you will want to have your pyro up there or over here guarding you against spies. You can have your sniper over here as well, just shooting through the wrangle bubble, and the wrangle bubble will also protect the sniper, and the sniper will kind of act as a back guard for the engineer. Very important for the pyro to run the home wrecker in this instance, because even if the engineer goes down, the pyro can keep the sentry up, but in that case, if the engineer goes down, that sentry is pretty much done. So the engineer needs to prioritize his life in that case, but with the Wrangler, that spot is absolutely pretty much invincible. We'll leave that here for now. You can also set up a sentry around here. It can get spammed away, but if you have the sentry right here guarding that side, and you have people over here preventing people from trying to spam around the corner, then you'll do okay. Again, it's all going to be about how well the team supports the sentry. But like I said, spy work is going to be really huge on this map. It is a very spy-friendly map. There's a lot of open areas, a lot of ammo packs. Spies can sneak around. There's going to be a lot of dead ringing. There's going to be a lot of vanilla spies. And the pyro is going to have his work cut out for him. It's going to be very difficult for the pyro to bump and find the spy, and rather than having a pyro roaming around, it's more important to have the pyro guarding the sentry, guarding the medic, guarding the sniper, somewhere around there, just to remove the targets. And the pyro should really call out who the pyro is covering in that case, just so the team knows. Again, pushing the cart on offense, most likely you're going to have the engineer pushing it with the short circuit just to remove all that spam. The engineer really has nothing to do during this first point. There's no teleporters to set up, no dispensers set up. There's no point for a teleporter up until they get that first cap. And this first cap should be relatively okay. Like Swiftwater, the teams should be prepared to give up on this point and to retreat with their lives. It's more important to stay alive in this case than to throw yourself in front of the cart, because this point is relatively easy to cap. You can delay, you can do lots of spam. If your sentry is still up, it's worthwhile throwing your lives in front of the cart to stall it or to prevent things. But if your sentry goes down and your teleporter goes down, then there's no real point, really. It is the second point here that the defense should be looking to do, because this second point can be pretty much impossible to break through with good teamwork. This area over here leads to a lot of flanking, so you can expect pyros and spies to just pop out of nowhere. Even medic heavy combos can just come out from these stairs back here. And never forget that you can always jump over this area. It's very, very handy. And just come on and flank the cart. There's also this side. It's a little bit more susceptible to pyro air blast, but should be relatively okay. Basically, if the red team has themselves spread out and can move in with some coordination to attack the cart, it should never ever get up this little ramp area right here. It should continually be sent back down with the timer basically exhausting itself. The only thing that might ruin it is if teams just can't coordinate themselves to cover this top area. Soldiers and demos should be up here on this top area. That will give the pyros a chance to just drop down here and just flame through this area. It gives the medic and heavy a safe passageway to get through, because the sniper can't get an angle. Basically, you want to force the sniper into the tunnels. You don't want the sniper anywhere up here. You don't want to let blue have a sniper up here. Blue wants to have a sniper here just to pick off the heavy or pick off the medic. There's a lot of great angles here that the sniper can shoot through. There's a little gap over here that red sniper can use. Red sniper will probably be back here, so that way the red sniper can just rotate up this way, shoots down the tunnel, shoots up there, and covers this side path. Defensive red pyro should be along this ledge almost all the time, unless he is pushing into the cart with the heavy medic from a different angle. But the reason is because that's usually the favorite scout and spy path area. And yeah. Sentry usually obviously is going to be right up there, set up with a Wrangler, and that way if you hold this upper area with the all your heavy classes, your demo, your soldier, your heavy and medic, then you should be fine. Getting this second point is so big if the blue team can get it, because it is, one thing, it's hard to get point, and second thing, it will set it'll push back the spawns for the red team. And the blue engineer will probably really, other than throwing down the random mini sentry, the blue engineer, I think, will probably just be focusing on getting those teleporters up as fast as possible, and also pushing the cart. Engineer on offense on this map doesn't have too much to do until the final point if you guys get there. But the red engineer definitely will have lots to do, and spies on both teams will have tons and tons to do, which is one of the reasons why I like this map. It's because it's a really fun spy map. But yeah, this third point on pub is usually really hard to get, but in competitive Highlander, it's actually relatively easy to get for the defense to get. And with that in mind, usually the defensive team focuses on setting up on the last point rather than going to this point. They can get lots of frags here, but there's a pretty much endless pressure. There's a lot of places for the offense to come out through this top area just to burst out, and just getting all these areas. The soldier might jump up that way to get right into the spawn area, and they have all this open space, and really there's not much that red team can go. There's no good sentry locations that are perfect as opposed to this final area here. But yeah, for the red team coming out though, they should not forget that they can come out through this top exit and just take this little one. I always forget this, but yeah, you can always do that. And for that reason, the red team, the blue team will be pushing up into that cubby hole with their soldier most likely. But yeah, this area, I mean, snipers can try to shoot, but that's not really going to happen too often. They're going to get a couple frags, but if the entire team there is pushing, they have their own sniper sniping back, and they have their soldier and their demo forward, as they always should be, then they'll be fine. And this third point, like I said, it's going to be relatively easy. Especially after the fall of the second point, the entire team will search for and just leave behind the scout and engineer to push the cart. This last point, though, however, is really big, and the team red team can hold on indefinitely on this point. It's very, very important for blue team to get their teleporter and their level 3 sentry set up in this area up here somewhere. That way anybody who tries to push in from behind, they can't get rid of the teleport, and the teleport is going to be super big. Obviously taking control of this high room area is going to be very important, and because of that you should have, the red team should be dedicating some people to control this high area. There's a couple good sentry locations to place for this area, for the red team. My personal favorite is right here for the sentry, because then the engineer can just hand in here and he can also wrangle across. If his team is controlling this upper area, then this sentry will cover the stairs and it'll cover that entranceway. Of course you have your typical area over here, but this one can get a little bit flanked from that bottom staircase area, however. And this one really will just require a super good coordinated push in order to push in. That pyro is very big here because the Uber pyro can nullify the defending pyro, send people over the cliff, and just rush right on in. Well, they can't do that jump, but they can rush right on in here and do a lot of spawn camping. Basically, open the gates for everybody else to come in and do the spawn camping shenanigans. And down here, I think this last point is going to be a little bit harder for spies to do their work. Defensive pyro can be over here, just keeping people off this as well. Yeah, but pyro pushes is going to be super big here, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, you're going to see defense pushing out this back area a lot. So it might be a good idea to have, well, you know, it's really hard for offense to have people here all the time. They're going to be focusing on trying to push to that top area rather than being on their heels and guarding this little area. But they should be almost prepared at any time for people just to burst through this area. Yeah. Upward's fairly straightforward map. I think a lot of people have played it and probably have their own ideas about this map. It's very important just to know when you're on defense when to give up on a point. Namely, that first and third point, they're pretty hard to hold, and I would not waste too many people. I would rather keep more people alive and dedicate them to that second point and the final point, because the second point and the final point is where you're going to kill the most time, and also where you will be able to stop them. So if you have more people alive to defend the second and fourth point and the final point, you do a lot better than if you just throw people away on those first and third points. For the offense, it's going to be a lot of, they're going to be relying on their spy a lot and relying on their sniper a lot to get those quick frags on very, very important people. And getting this push is going to be huge. I think any time around maybe 7 minutes, it's going to be a really, really good time for this map. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So enjoy this. It's going to be one of my favorites. And until next time, ciao.